We'll start the lecture. Today's topic is tumors of stomach, benign and malignant. Benign tumors are not important. Malignant tumor only is important, and classification of malignant tumor, etiopathogenesis, gross and microscopic appearance of malignant tumor. The most common malignant tumor of the stomach is arising from gland, gastric gland. So it has to be what? It has to be adeno. It has to be what? Adenocarcinoma. Whole GIT, stomach, intestine, of course, very rare. Large intestine, all these cancers arising from mucosa or adenocarcinoma. Now, benign epithelial tumor, as I told you, not important. I will be talking next lecture when we are talking about polyps of or benign tumors of small intestine and large intestine. Similar, all these things, epithelial polyps are there also in small intestine and large intestine, and we'll discuss these in detail that time. Types of epithelial. What is a polyp? Polyp is any growth which protrudes in the lumen of the intestine or any hollow organ. Any growth or tumor which projects in the lumen of a hollow organ, that is GIT, my stomach, intestine, colon. So that is called polyp. So different type of epithelial polyps, these are benign, inflammatory or hyperplastic. This is non-neoplastic. This is because of inflammation and hyperplasia. The second is fundic gland polyp. This is found only in the stomach. And then Peutz-Jeghers syndrome, that is multiple polyp you will find all over GIT. This is a hereditary disorder. And then there is a juvenile polyp which occurs in young children. So these are different type of epithelial polyps. We'll talk about them in next lecture when we are talking about polyps or benign tumors of intestine. Now, most important is this adenoma. This also we'll be discussing in detail there. Adenoma means benign tumor of the glands, that is gastric glands. It is called adenoma. This also we'll talk, but there in gastric benign tumors are not that important as the small intestine and large intestine. That's why I'm telling you we'll discuss this along with the intestine, that is small and large intestine. Now, benign stromal tumor, that was epithelial tumor. Stromal tumor, leiomyoma tumor, and then one very special type of tumor which occurs in the stomach more often than other GIT part, that is called gastrointestinal stromal tumor, which is also called, acronym is GIST, gastrointestinal stromal tumor. Actually, it consists of all this. Earlier they were separate, now it has become GIST. So these are benign epithelial. I'll tell you small description about the GIST later on. Now, as I told you, I'll not discuss about this. These are those polyps, microscopic picture, hyperplastic, then fundic adenomator. Now, GIST. What is GIST? It is a GIT stromal tumor and is most common mesenchymal tumor of the abdomen. And as I told you, it is most common in stomach. More than half of the cases occur in the stomach. That's why I'm discussing it here. I'll not discuss it in the intestine and that is a small and large intestine. It is quite large. It may be as big as 30 centimeters in diameter and usually forms a solitary, well-circumscribed fleshy mass covered by ulcerated or intact mucosa, but can also project outward towards the serosa. So because it arises from the muscular layer, so it is in the wall, it may project out or it may project inside, and then it produces ulceration if it is projecting in the lumen. It can be benign and malignant. Now, there are three types of GIST, that is spindle cell type, composed of thin elongated cells, and then epithelioid cell types, tumor dominated by epithelial appearing cells. And there is mixture of two patterns. So, spindle cell type, epithelioid type, epithelial type, this is spindle cell is like muscle cell or any neural cell, there are spindle cell. And mixture of both two. The most useful diagnostic marker is c-KIT, This is the biological marker, tumor marker of the c-KIT for this. When it is, if we do immunohistochemistry, c-KIT will be positive in this tumor, and that's how it is diagnosed. Immunohistochemically detected in 95% of gastric GIST. So this is a GIST. It is a stromal tumor, two types, spindle cell type, epithelial cell type, or mixture of both. c-KIT is the immunohistochemical stain for which is present in the 95% of the GIST cases of the stomach. Now it is a very large tumor arising from the stoma. It can project inside the lumen of the stomach, or it can project outside, means serosa. Now see, this is the projecting in the mucosa, lumen. See, this is gastric mucosa, and this tumor is projecting in the lumen. This is just to show it has gone out in this, and this is the mucosa, and this tumor is in the submucosa and muscular layer. See, these are spindle cell type. It is just like a muscle tumor or neural tumor. So as I told you, all those muscular tumor, leiomyoma, neural fibroma, all they are kept in the GIST category. Now we come to the main topic, that is malignant tumor. And malignant tumor arising from epithelium is adenocarcinoma. There are different types. We will come to classification of stomach cancer separately. So types of malignant tumor in the stomach are adenocarcinoma, carcinoid. Carcinoid is not in our syllabus. It is a tumor which produces benign and malignant. It produces 5-HT, serotonin and histamine and all those. So it produces symptoms which are either asthma, then itching in the skin, and diarrhea and all those. Then lymphoma arising from mucosa associated lymphoid tissue. So it is called maltoma. M is mucosa, A means associated, L means lymphoid tissue, and oma means tumor. So lymphoma of the GIT, one stomach. And then malignant GIST, as I told you, GIST can be benign or malignant. So these are the malignant tumor: adenocarcinoma, carcinoid, lymphoma, and malignant GIST. Benign tumor is epithelial polyps, which are the three types: fundic polyp, then hyperplastic or inflammatory polyp, and then Peace-Sugar syndrome, and then juvenile polyp, and then of course adenoma, which is a benign tumor of the glands, gastric glands. So this is a broad classification of benign tumor and malignant tumor. Now we go for the classification of carcinoma of stomach. So gastric carcinoma, that is adenocarcinoma of stomach, it is very high incidence in Japan and China. They say it is because of dietary habit, because they take a lot of smoked food. That's what they say. And there is some racial predisposition also in these Japanese and Chinese. And it is more common in males. And this is the second most common cancer in the human being, next to the lung cancer, especially in male. And it has got a very bad prognosis because it is detected very late. So 5-year survival is only 20%. So this is a very bad tumor to have. I mean, very bad cancer to have. The survival rate is only 20% because it is detected very late and it has already advanced. We should remember that this is very dangerous cancer, and it is the second most common cancer of the male. Now, etiopathogenesis. What are the risk factors? Risk factor can be divided into the environmental factors, then host factors, and then genetic factors. Now, first is environmental factor. It is prevalent in certain geographical area. As I told you, it is very common in Japan and China. So, this geographical area is another, is supposed to be a risk factor. Then H. pylori infection. I showed you various conditions associated with H. pylori infection. That gastric carcinoma and lymphoma, they are mentioned. Then diets, dietary things, nitrites, now smoked food, pickled food or pickled vegetables, high salt intake, and lack of fruits and fresh vegetables. These fruits and fresh vegetables are protective against gastric carcinoma. And nitrites, smoked food, pickles, high salt diet. And nitrites, I showed you those and chemical carcinogen, different types of nitrosamine, then coloring, food coloring dye, then hydrocarbons, all those things which I mentioned in the uh, carcinogens, that dietary carcinogen, they can cause stomach cancer. Then low socio-economic condition, this is actually related with the H. pylori infection, because people who are living in a herd like, small place, lot of people occupying that. So there, this H. pylori is very common in them, and also the immunity is less in low socioeconomic people. And then cigarette and tobacco. Cigarette and tobacco, starting from oral cancer to esophageal cancer to gastric cancer, everywhere cigarette and tobacco and alcohol is there. Alcohol also should be here. So these are the environmental risk factor. Now we go to host risk factor. Now host risk factor are chronic atrophic gastritis, intestinal metaplasia. Metaplasia means gastric mucosa becomes intestinal. Atrophic gastritis means gastric mucosa become atrophic following a gastritis, and that occurs in deficiency of, it leads to intrinsic factor deficiency and all that. Then pernicious anemia, will come to the hematology, will know what is it. This is a deficiency of intrinsic factor which is required for absorption of B12, and this atrophic gastritis will lead to pernicious anemia because mucosa is atrophic, so intrinsic factor is not secreted, so vitamin B12 will not be absorbed. So this pernicious anemia will occur 18 times more than normal in this atrophic gastritis. So atrophic gastritis, intestinal metaplasia, pernicious anemia, partial gastrectomy. This partial gastrectomy will lead to reflux, that is backflow of duodenal juice in the stomach. And Barrett's esophagus, I already told you, adenocarcinoma of the esophagus. So Barrett's esophagus also leads to adenocarcinoma and gastric adenoma, benign tumor of the gastric glands. So these are the host factors. First was environmental factor, second is host factor. And then we come to genetics. In genetics, blood group A, their peptic ulcer was blood group O. Then family history of cancer, that is gastric cancer. Then this is a hereditary condition which is called hereditary non-polyposis colon carcinoma syndrome. This is a HNPCC syndrome. And familial gastric carcinoma, this is E. cadherin mutation. This gene is mutated and that will lead to gastric carcinoma, familial gastric carcinoma. And there is also BRCA mutation, P53 mutations. So those are generally. Now we come to those are the host factor, environmental factor, and genetic factors. Those are the etiological agents. Now we come to gastric carcinoma classification. So first we talked about tumors of the stomach or gastric tumor classification, that is benign and malignant. Benign was polyp, that is the adenoma, different type of polyps. Then stromal tumors, leiomyoma, and then neurofibroma, then this cyst. Then we talked about malignant tumor, that is adenocarcinoma, carcinoid, and adenocarcinoma, carcinoid, and malignant cyst. Now, gastric carcinoma classification, now we'll be talking about, that is WHO classification. One of you, either you remember Lauren classification, which is next, or this gastric carcinoma, that is WHO classification. It is adenocarcinoma, so it is papillary adenocarcinoma, tubular papillary means forming papilla. Tubular adenocarcinoma of stomach means forming tubules. Mucinous means producing lot of mucin. Signet ring, I'll show you what is signet ring. Each individual cell is containing lot of mucin, so it appears like a ring. And undifferenced. So these are the class: papillary, tubular, mucinous, signet ring, undifferentiated adenocarcinoma. And then adenosquamous carcinoma, that is adenocarcinoma along with squamous carcinoma, and then small cell carcinoma. So this is the WHO classification of gastric carcinoma. Now we go to the second classification. So you remember this: adenocarcinoma, papillary adenocarcinoma, tubular adenocarcinoma, mucinous adenocarcinoma, signet ring adenocarcinoma. undifferentiated adenocarcinoma stomach, and adenosquamous and small cell. This is WHO class. Now, Laurent classification is very simple. This is depending on the histological examination. That was a papillary, mucus, and all those. This is based on histological classification, and this is intestinal adenocarcinoma when it is the intestinal type of carcinoma, and then it is diffuse adenocarcinoma when it is signature. So, Laurent classification is based on histology, and this one is based more on the morphological papillae, tubule, mucin, and all that. There also it is histological only. Papillae you see in histology, tubules also. But this is a more of a prognostic thing because this carcinoma is very bad. Even intestinal carcinoma prognosis is very bad, but better than diffuse. Now we will be discussing morphology of each one of them. So what is the most gross location of the cancer? Pyloric antrum 50 to 60%, lesser curvature 40%. So you can't remember this percentage. You just remember it is very common pyloric antrum and lesser curvature. Like I think gastric ulcer also was common in those areas, antrum and lesser curvature. Cardiac it is 25%, body and fundus 15%, and greater curvature that is 12%. So most common is pyloric antrum and lesser 90%, but 50 to 60, 40, almost 90%. Now morphology, gross appearance of that is location, and this is you remember this in all cancer of the intestine, that is stomach, and then this colon when we will be talking next. The same thing will be there. Polypoid, like a polyp-like. It is projecting in the lumen, like a cauliflower. That is called polypoid. Means it is like polyp, the surface is nodular. So this is polyp-like polypoid. Fungating means when there is a ulcer on the surface of this polypoid. So it becomes fungating. So these two types, they project in the lumen of the stomach, polypoid and fungating. Ulcerating doesn't project. It forms an ulcer in the wall of the stomach. And then scarus is diffuse infiltrating carcinoma. That is what I told you, that signature type. And it is called diffuse thickening of the gastric mucosa. It is called linitis plastica, and it produces a leather bottle stomach. Leather bottle, it used to be used earlier for, I don't know, storage of water when they used to go on the camel and other horses. So leather bottle stomach, it produces this scarus type of carcinoma because it diffusely infiltrates the wall of the stomach and causes a lot of fibrosis. So that's why plastica is plastic-like. Lining, linitis with lining. So plastic-like lining means thick, this stiff, thick gastric wall, that is also called leather bottle. So gross morphology, remember, polypoid, fungating, ulcerating, and scarus. Now you see this is polypoid. This is gastric lumen, and this is a tumor projecting in the stomach. Now this is an ulcer on the polypoid region, so it becomes fungating. If ulcer is here, it becomes fungating. And this is ulcerating, means there is no this ulcer. This is a tumor, and this is ulcer. So it is not projecting in this ulcer is not projecting lumen. It is in the wall. It is going into the wall. And then this infiltrative, that is lining, the scarus type, it is called type 4, that is infiltrative, means diffuse infiltrating. It infiltrates the wall of the stomach diffusely all over, and it forms a thickening of the wall by fibrosis and tumor infiltration. So these are 4 gross type of lesions of the gastric carcinoma. Same will be true when we come to the other carcinoma of the GIT. Now this is a fungating carcinoma. See, these are nodules which are ulcerated. If it was not ulcerated, it becomes polypoid. This is ulcerating gastric carcinoma, like a stomach peptic ulcer. And you see these are the nodules, everted edges. And these are not there. What is this? Rugi or flattened. So I told you what is difference between gastric carcinoma and gastric ulcer. Those things apply here. You see this, these are rugi stomach, and here it is flattened because the stomach edema is there, infiltration of the cancer is there. Now these edges are reverted, not undermined. They are projecting out, and then rough, this base will be dirty. So those, you should know how to morphologically differentiate gastric ulcer with the gastric carcinoma. I told you in previous. All these findings I have enumerated. This is another gastric carcinoma ulcer. See, this is the base. These are the rough, dirty base. This is everted margin. This is leather bottle. See the diffuse thickening of the stomach wall by infiltration and fibrosis. See, the whole stomach wall has become thick and fibrous. So this is called leather bottle or linitis plastica, plastic like leather lining or leather bottle stomach, because this is diffuse infiltrating, that is serous type of gastric carcinoma. So that is morphological. We come to the micro. There are only two types, as I told you, microscopically intestinal type and diffuse infiltrating type. The intestinal type gastric carcinoma forms intestine-like glands. The neoplastic cell will contain apical mucin vacuole, that is a goblet cell. So that is a intestinal cancer, intestinal type cancer, because it produces goblet cell. It is the glands are formed like an intestinal gland, not like gastric gland. So that's why it is intestinal type. And abundant mucin may be present in the lumen or it may be outside the glands. So those intestinal type of adenocarcinoma of the stomach will be having intestinal type of glands, which will be of course malignant, and they will be forming mucin extracellularly as well as inside the lumen. See, this is a, you see, these are the goblet cells, and these are the intestinal type of glands. Here it is more common. You can see this goblet cell. So this is intestinal type of gastric carcinoma. When the cancer glands are intestinal type, that is goblet cells is there, and there will be mucin in the lumen here, or it may be outside the glands also. So depends. Now, diffuse infiltrating growth pattern composed of poorly cohesive cell containing large mucin vacuoles that pushes nucleus to the periphery. That's why it is called signet ring, because it looks like a surgeons believe in Lorentz, and pathologically it is very small. So you remember both here, because when you are describing histology, you will be talking intestinal type and diffuse type. So you classify both if classification is asked. Okay. Now there is disruption in the presentation. Every day it is happening. I don't know. Now I was talking about diffuse infiltrative growth pattern. It is composed of poorly cohesive cell containing large mucin vacuoles pushing nucleus to the periphery. I will show you what is a signet ring type of cell. They permeate the mucosa and stomach wall individually or in the cluster, and they produce lot of fibrosis, that is desmoplasia. When lot of fibrosis is there, there is a, that is called desmoplastic reaction, desmoplasia. So infiltrating cells evoke desmoplastic response, that is fibrosis in the gastric wall. So this cancer cell as well as fibrosis will lead to thickening of the rugae, flattening of the rugae and all that, and rigid thickened wall, which imparts a leather bottle appearance and in turn linitis plastica. So you remember this, that diffuse infiltrating growth, that is serous type of carcinoma. That is, one is intestinal, the other one is serous. That is a diffuse infiltrating type. Lorentz classification, one is intestinal, the other one is diffuse infiltrating. So this diffuse infiltrating type causes the leather bottle appearance because it produces a lot of fibrosis in the stomach wall, and also it permeates through the mucosa and the muscular mucosa throughout the wall of the stomach. Now you see these, they appear like fat. These are the actually many times they are missed. These are signet ring cells. See, this is vacuole and this is the dot. That's the ring. This is a ring. So these are they see diffusely infiltrating. They may individually infiltrate or they may form a clump or sheet. So this is a diffuse infiltrating type of signet ring cell type of carcinoma. So then we have talked about the morphology, that is a polypoid, fungating, ulcerating, and diffuse infiltrating, and then we came to that was a gross, the morphological appearance, then microscopic. There are two types, intestinal type of adenocarcinoma and diffuse infiltrating type of adenocarcinoma, which produces leather bottle appearance. Now we go to metastasis of the gastric carcinoma. This you should remember. This is not in your syllabus, but this is very important. It may be asked. So first is local spread, that is muscle and serosa and regional different lymph nodes, duodenal, pancreas, wherever those local spread, including the regional lymph node or distant lymph node. Now metastasis frequently to the left supraclavicular sentinel node, which is called varicose node. First clinical, it may be the first clinical manifestation of gastric carcinoma. You will find a lymph node enlargement above the clavicle in the neck on the left side. So that is the sentinel node, first node of the gastric carcinoma spread there many times. This is the first, and this is the first clinical manifestation. So varicose node, you remember, it is in the case of gastric carcinoma metastasizing to the cervical lymph node, supraclavicular, left supraclavicular lymph node. So this is, you remember, varicose node metastasis. Tumor may also metastasize to periumbilical region, umbilicus, to form a subcutaneous nodule. And it is called Sister Mary Joseph nodule. This was after the Noon, who noted for the first time as a marker of metastasis. She was nurse. Noon was the person, and this Sister Mary Joseph nodule, this sister name I think was Noon. Metastasis appeared to ovary, which is called Krukenberg tumor. Okay. Krukenberg, other source of the Krukenberg tumor is the breast, pancreas, gallbladder. बीच में गया था. So Krukenberg tumor, other causes are pancreas cancer, gallbladder cancer, breast cancer. So these are the local spread metastasis spread away from the site, that is varicose node, Sister Mary Joseph nodule, and Krukenberg tumor, that is an ovary, umbilicus, then left supraclavicular lymph node. So you remember, of course, local spread in the local draining lymph node of the stomach, as well as duodenal, pancreas, and non-retroperitoneal. So this is metastasis of gastric carcinoma. This is a Sister Mary Joseph nodule in the umbilicus. Now gastric lymphoma, not in the syllabus, so I'll just mention briefly. It is 5% of our gastric malignancy. 19% patient of gastric lymphoma are either mucosa-associated lymphoid tissue gastric lymphoma or diffuse large B-cell lymphoma of the stomach. Marked gastric lymphoma is often associated with infection with H. pylori. So all those martoma, that is gastric lymphoma associated with the mucosa-associated lymph node, are called martoma, and they are caused by the H. pylori. So all martoma are caused by H. pylori. Other type of gastric lymphoma is diffuse large B-cell lymphoma. When we come to lymphoma, we'll be talking. So most important is martoma here in gastric carcinoma, gastric lymphoma, because it is caused by the Helicobacter pylori infection, and it arises in the mucosa-associated lymph node, lymphoid structure. This is a gastric lymphoma. You can see these are the glands. So these glands are infiltrated by the lymphoid cells, that is malignant lymphoid cells, and this is diagnostic feature. This is called lymphoepithelial lesion, and these are all lymphoma cells in between the mucous glands. So this is a marked lymphoma. It arises in the mucosa-associated lymphoid tissue. See, this is a lymphoepithelial lesion, which is diagnostic of marked lymphoma, because this lymphoma is infiltrating these glands. Normally, it should not be there. So that is a invasion of the gland by the lymphoma cells. This is a diagnostic feature of martoma. So I have finished. Lymphoma is not that important. This gastric carcinoma is important. Metastasis, you know, 3 types: varicose node, Krukenberg node, Krukenberg tumor, and then Sister Mary Joseph sister nodule. These 3 plus local spread. Don't think that only these are there. But can be most important is this: when the surgeon operates, they remove all the lymph node around how far it has spread. And the varicose node important. When you go to surgical site, they will be asking this, the importance of this node in supraclavicular left side enlargement. Now this I told you, diffuse infiltrating signature type of cancer that produces a leather bottle appearance, Linitis pratica, because it diffusely infiltrates the gastric wall and as well as it causes a lot of fibrosis. And then second one is intestinal type that produces goblet cells and intestinal gland, and that's why it is called intestinal type of gastric carcinoma. And then leather bottle gastric carcinoma, you see aortic margin, loss of this flattening of the ruby, cauliflower, this is fungating. So these are four types: polypoid, fungating, ulcerating, and diffuse inflammation. What is the difference between this and this? Only both of them project in the lumen. One has got ulcer on the surface, then it becomes fungating. Ulcerating means it doesn't project in the lumen, but it goes deep in the wall. And of course, in diffuse infiltrating that type 4, it involves the whole wall of the stomach. So that is gross appearance. Morphology, most common site is the antrum and the lesser curvature. Laurent classification is intestinal and diffuse. And this WHO papillary tubular mucinous type of glands in the adenocarcinoma. Based on that, it is classified adenosquamous carcinoma and small cell. And etiology, genetics, blood group A, family history of carcinoma. You may remember, you may not, a familiar gastric carcinoma, you should know the genes involved in E. cadherin. This is E. cadherin, which is mutated. Then there is a BRCA gene also, which is mutated, and P53 gene is also, of course, P53 gene is mutated in most cancer. So this is, you should remember the genetic. Host factor, chronic atrophic gastritis means gastric mucosa is atrophic, means thinned out. And atrophy, it's small, it becomes. Then intestinal metaplasia of intestine in the gastric gland and gastric epithelium. Pernicious anemia is caused by this chronic atrophic gastritis. There is a lack of intrinsic factor, so that's why B12 is not. So this anemia, which is called B12 deficiency, pernicious anemia. Partial gastrectomy favors gastric juice regurgitation. Barrett's esophagus, another host factor cause because it leads to adenocarcinoma of the lower end of stomach, esophagus, and upper end of stomach, and gastric adenoma. So these are host factor. Environmental factor, I told you. Geographical location, yes, pylori infection, then diet. Fruits and vegetables are preventive, and night dry, smoked food, pickled food, high salt diet, very irritant food. They are, of course, carcinogens, low socioeconomic conditions, cigarette, alcohol, and tobacco. So these are the gastric adenocarcinoma etiological factor, their classification, their morphology, and their metastasis. And malignant tumor stomach is adenocarcinoma, carcinoid lymphoma, GIST malignant GIST. Benign is epithelial tumor, that is inflammatory polyp or hyperplastic polyp, condylar gland polyp, juvenile polyp. I will be next lecture will be this. And then adenoma. Adenoma is benign tumor of the gland. Polyps is, this also protrudes in the lumen, but it is called adenoma. We will be talking about that because this is precancerous. Then epithelial polyps are generally benign, and they are not that cancerous. I mean, they rarely undergo transformation to cancer. So I have finished. Any question? All of you sleeping? Hello?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No,
Any,
sir. No, sir.
any question?